So, Francesco.
Oh, yes. And I am amazed that I haven't brought this guy up yet on the show. But I went back and I looked and I couldn't find him in any of the descriptions or tags because I could have sworn I talked about this guy. But he is epic. This guy. Okay. So I'm in Rome.
You're in Rome.
And when you're there, you know what you do.
When in Rome.
Right. You try not to hail a cab because the cabbies are kind of jerks. Unless you get Francesco. Now, Francesco, I was somewhere, and I don't even know exactly where. It may have been the day I went to the Vatican, but I was far enough away that I had a very long cab ride ahead of me from my destination.
Okay.
And so I wasn't looking forward to it because the cabbies have been kind of surly at that point. It's almost like all the cabs over there are like only running the cab as like a favor to their friend, and they hate doing it. But this guy shows up, and I get in his cab, and he has decided to take it upon himself to. Am I like?
No. Fine.
Okay, good.
I mean, you glitched for a second, but your audio is fine. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But he has taken it upon himself to become like the ambassador of Italian tourism to me, because he has, of course, picked up on the fact that I am a foreigner, and so he is pointing out all kinds of stuff. Like, I had no idea he was going to do this.
Where were you going?
I think I was, like I said, I think it was the day I got a cab from like the Vatican to the hotel, and it's on like almost the other end of town. Okay. And there are no straight shots in Rome. So he is pointing out all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And being Captain Happy Man. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it because he's a corny guy, but it's so endearing and so funny. Like, we would go by and he goes, and here's another thing before I do this, so that you know that I'm not just being stereotypical here. He has a straight up stereotypical Mario accent.
No, he doesn't.
It's me, a Mario. I mean, that is what he sounds like. And it's like everything I have ever learned and known.
Did he have a stash?
He had kind of a beard. But is that if you do the stereotypical accent, that's exactly what nobody from that place sounds like. Except this guy proves to be an exception to that particular rule, because we're driving by and he goes, and that's over here to the left. That is the Bank of Italy. And he literally leans out of the window and goes, "Hey, where's my money?" Just being funny guy, right? And it's so corny, but it was so endearing.
That's awesome.
And so he's showing me all of these things, and here in Rome, we have thousands of years old, and it's just right there next to the street. Nobody cares. They sit on it. They don't care. And but the best part, the absolute best part, is I don't know if he decided that he was out of things to tell me about Rome. It's not, a very important city. So he goes, "Hey, do you mind if I let you listen to some of my music?"
Okay.
And I said, "Sure." I was like, "Hell yeah, your music, Francesco, Dr. F, I'm all over it." And so I'm thinking a number of things in my head. I'm thinking it's just music that he enjoys. That is his music. Okay, let's see what he likes. Let's see what Francesco enjoys. Or it could be that he has picked up a guitar and has a microphone and has played into the microphone and sang some songs. Perfect. I want to hear that. That's fantastic. Or maybe he's got a band. Now, that would be cool. Francesco frontlining some serious Italian Mario guys, jamming. Yeah, I'm all over that too. It isn't any of those things.
Oh no.
It's tangentially related to them, but it isn't. It is Francesco singing along to a karaoke track. Of Pink Floyd songs. and it has that reverb, that you get with a karaoke mic. So it's got that going on it. And it's just him singing karaoke. And it's not him driving and singing karaoke. It's listening to a recording of that guy singing karaoke on this CD. And the thing is, it's freaking amazing. It's like, not because he's so good. It's just so bizarre. It's
because it's in an Italian
awesome.
accent. So he's singing English with an Italian accent.
Right.
Pink Floyd songs like The Wall.
And this is what is the biggest capper of this whole thing that makes it something that I am still to this day kicking myself that I didn't offer him like 100 euros for that thing. Before every song, while we're doing the intro, the lead up to where he's going to start singing, he delivers this weird little soliloquy about what the song is about.
On the recording?
On the recording. Yeah, with the reverb and everything. And it's amazing. It's like, what was it? It was, the only one I can really remember is when he did Time. Like he did Time and Money, both from Dark Side of the Moon. Mm-hmm. And he also did two that were not Pink Floyd songs. He did Purple Haze, Hand of God. And he did Soldier of Fortune by Deep Purple.
What? Why?
But the first two were Time and Money. And the one that I remember the most, his little soliloquy, was from like Time. And it's not word for word.
Were you driving to Spain?
Exactly. I mean, it was a long trip.
Going?
And well, I mean, it's Rome. I mean, getting from point A to point B in Rome, that's like half a day. But it was like, it is so true that we only have a little bit of time. So we must make every moment count. And this is the part that I love. It is at the end of every one of his soliloquies on all four of these songs. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I am Francesco." And then he starts singing. It's like, I've forgotten to introduce myself. I am sorry.
In case you've forgotten.
I am Francesco.
That's the last track.
Oh, I am sorry. I am Francesco. And then, money is a gas. It was fantastic. And he gave me this whole spiel, and I didn't realize until later he was trying to get me to buy his CD, but he gave me this whole spiel. He's like, I cannot sell to you. It's copyright. I don't want to get in trouble. And he wanted me to insist, and I didn't. I was like, well, I don't want to put you in a weird position. And I was trying to be like cool to him or whatever. But then I realized later, oh no, he was actually trying to get me to buy it. And I totally would have. I am kicking myself for not getting a copy of this.
Have you ever searched for it?
I can't find. I mean, his name is Francesco. He's a cabbie in Rome. I don't know that his career blew up much after that. But
I got to pause. I'm sorry. Hold on one sec. I literally have to do this. Hello, it's Jason. So let me recap. You're driving across Rome.
I'm driving across Rome
with Francesco. Well, yeah, you're riding across Rome. And Francesco's laughing like, and then you are like, we heard about the antics. He's singing. He's playing his music. Right. It kind of reminds me of the Ross's music. And you get to the destination. Do you get when he starts to give you the spiel about how like he'd love to give this to you or sell it to you, but he can or something? Like, does he start that before you arrive or like after you get to your destination?
Yeah, no, it's before we arrive, but it's almost right there at the end because he knew that we were getting close. Okay. And like I said, I feel like an idiot not realizing that that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
But I totally would have bought it, man, because I wanted to have that to show people. I was like, let me tell you about Francesco. But here is Francesco. And now Francesco.
And what I was about to ask before I was like interrupted. Have you ever looked for it? Have you ever searched for it? Like Francesco, the Roman cab driver? Like,
I have found nothing about him.
So you have looked?
I have.
Are you waiting for the heavens to open?
Well, I was hopefully that would happen, but I've got a number of things actually that I'm waiting on that for. Yeah, I mean, after that, I mean, I wanted him to be my cabbie, like for the rest of the trip.
Right. Right. Yes, you give me your card, you give me your business card, and
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. He's lost to antiquity.
Wow.
Now I don't even know if he really existed. I mean, he may have been some form of bizarre taxi angel or something.
That's
right.
That's very amazing stories of you.
It's an enchanted kind of fella, and who knows?
No, I think the end is like, Marcus, he's on the upstairs line. Anytime I do that, I get chills. Every single time. It doesn't matter how much.
The Pink Floyd karaoke is coming from inside the house.
Yes, that's it. Like I kid you not, I've got goosebumps every time. I'm the one making it up.
What originated that?
I think it's beard bumps. Like my whiskers stand on end. Yeah, like what do you call it when your
Maybe
facial hair like stands on end? I don't know.
I guess I don't know. That's goosebumps, I guess, right? But
I don't know what they call it.
But what did that originate with? Was that a Twilight Zone? What was that?
No, it was like some hard. We used to tell the story when we were kids. Like
it seems like it was a.
It's coming calls. The calls coming from inside the house.
They can't trace the call. Like she tells the cops or.
I'm getting it again. Just thinking about it. Oh.
I was thinking it was in a movie or maybe somebody heard the story and put it in something.
Maybe that's deep set, man. I mean, like I can't even think about it without getting goosebumps.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a wacky taxi guy, and it's still having this visceral effect on you. That's crazy.
Yeah, spooky. Well, because I think as a kid, like that was a huge fear. Was the person inside the monster in the house? Yeah. Not even a monster.
Well, with your experiences with that basement, I don't.
Dude, seriously,
I do not blame you for getting.
And the guy who sat in the corner of the dining room, and I would have to like run past to get to my parents' room at night in the middle of the night. Oh God! And I wasn't the only one. That's the thing. Like my little brother used to have the same phobia about the same corner of the room. I'm like, come on, we didn't even talk about it. That house. It's amazing we even got out.
Or did you?
I don't know.
Maybe you're still in there.
I do wonder sometimes.
The podcast is coming from an outside.
I do wonder sometimes, like, do you think we brought that with us? Do you think that stuff follows you around?
Ghosts want to go to Disney World too.
Or just stay with the house? I'm hoping it stays with the house.
They probably, the first time you moved down here, and the first time you went on Haunted Mansion, I bet they were like, oh no, this is a better place. So I'll just hang out here.
Oh yeah. Well, it was right, because Walt Disney worked hard at that. He said they got like the best cobwebs and the best creaky floors and stuff to try to. And
it was specifically for that reason. He said that now if anybody has ghosts following them, this is a lot like a Roach Motel, but it's for ghosts, right? So like if you're going on it and they're like, wow, this is great. I love this. Why am I haunting this guy when I can be in this creepy place with all these other ghosts?
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. They said a ghost will follow you home, but that's misdirection.
What's a trade-in?
The ghost that followed you is going to stay here. It's a complete opposite, actually.
It's a trade-in.
It's a trade ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a tall, thin one. I'm kind of looking for one that's a bit more of a blob. You got any of those?
Well, Francesco sounds he sounds wonderful. It's similar to mine.
He is wonderful.
So. Did I tell you did I ever tell you the alpaca story?
The alpaca story? I don't know if you did.
So, the first...
I have a coda for the alpaca story for when you're done.
Okay.
Just because of alpacas.
Night in Santiago, Chile, for my business school trip. We had been, it's an overnight flight from Miami. We were flying from Baltimore, so Baltimore to Miami, and then overnight to Santiago, Chile, and I don't sleep on planes, so I was up, land in Chile, go through all the stuff, get to the hotel, finally check in, and then we were whisked away to this vineyard where we proceeded to. We hadn't eaten anything, so when we got there. They gave us some snacks and stuff, which was great. And then we had the wine tour. We did this wine tour, so we're drinking. And then we get back to this courtyard, and they're serving us all sorts of wonderful like stuff, like these little sausages, which is amazing, and empanadas, which was wonderful. And we're drinking and we're eating, and then they like bring us inside for dinner.
Whoa!
Or lunch. I guess it was lunch. It was like a late lunch. But like, I was full. We were all full. We were stuffed because we all like stuffed ourselves with empanadas and sausages, and now we had to sit down and eat. So anyways, we eat all this food, drink all this. I'm like 3 sheets. Get back to the hotel, and now we're supposed to do a scavenger hunt.
A scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt. I don't even know what time of day it is. It's still light out, so
I'm gonna find my pillow.
We're given like this sheet for each of our teams that we're on. We're given this sheet of like stuff we have to find in the city.
In the city, so
we have to get it and bring it back. We have to like buy stuff and then bring it back.
And you're full of Chilean cuisine.
None of us know
and
Spanish at all. I mean, we know a little bit. Like I know how to say like where's the bathroom, like donde está el baño. Like I don't know. So one of those things. So we go around. We actually split up, and my friend Justin and I we like stay together, and then I think it was Justin and I who were together, right? And then Maurice and Eric were together, and they're doing their thing, and so Justin and I had this grand idea. They're like, oh, we've got to get something made of alpaca wool. Okay. Well, we're like, oh, we also had to get we had to get music. We had to buy music, a certain type of music or a certain band or something. I'm like, well, what better? But we got to go to the mall. Surely they have a mall nearby, right?
Chile is known for their malls.
Turns out they do have a mall, and so, but we found this. We like hailed this taxi. We get this driver who like sort of speaks English, like he speaks it well enough to like we're like, do you look like a mall? He's like, the mall. Okay. He's driving us, and at some point he turns, and he's like going down into like a residential area, and we're like, what? And then he comes up like this alleyway. I'm like, whoa. And Justin and I look at it, I was like, okay, this is where we die. Like, this is it. This is the part of the story where we should.
I'll see that on the scavenger hunt list. Like, get murdered.
And like, not only is it 2003 or something, or 2004, so like, we don't have cell phones, really.
Right.
Like, we have cell
Certainly
phones.
not one that works
but not
in
one
Chile.
that works in. That's exactly right. Yes. So we're like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. So he stops the car in this like alleyway, and he says like, I don't know if he says un momento or like just what, like 1 minute, like he hops out, goes into this house. We're sitting in the cab. It's running. And he goes into this house and like, oh my God, like what's happening? Is this where he goes and finds out like how much we're worth? Like, I don't know. So,
I got these two guys. What do you think?
He comes back out.
$20.
He's like, okay. So it turns out what he was doing is he was telling his wife that he was going to be late for dinner, apparently, or something like that. So that's kind of what we got out of it.
Okay.
Because he's taking us to this mall. And I think he was probably saying, like, I'm about to make a ton of money off.
Okay.
It took us a while to get there. So we get to the mall, and he drops us off. I'm like, okay. We walk in, and God bless America, or God bless Chile. There's a little like info booth right there when you walk in, with these wonderfully attractive Chilean ladies like working there at the desk. Sure. And we walk up, and I'm like, I know what to ask for. I'm gonna just walk up here and say, "Donde está alpaca?"
Just in general.
She looks at me.
Alpacas.
And she looks at her coworker, and she looks back at me, and she says, alpaca? Like,
what the hell are you thinking?
Alpaca? What are you talking about? This is like
you were looking for a farm and you went into a mall.
Like,
no, I
just asked for all your alpacas. Like, no.
Where the heck are your guys' alpacas, man?
So I had to like, no, like
what the heck is America
pointing to my
like?
shirt, like, like, no, this is alpaca. But she's like, So she sends us, where she sends us? To this yarn store. They have like this yarn
Make it
store
yourself,
in the mall.
she said.
And so we end up buying this like spool of alpaca yarn or wool or whatever, like, and then we get the music from the music store, and then we had to find our way back. And we finally got back.
Two birds and one stone thing.
Just before dark. Yeah, we did okay. So we get back, right? We get back, and we're like, I mean, our buddies got back around the same time. We had, like, other teams had already arrived. Like, oh, man, we must have, like, missed out. They didn't finish their list. They just came back without finishing their list. We finished our list. And then I realized, like, oh, you don't really get anything. Like, we didn't know, like, there was no, like, giant awards or, like, ceremony or anything. It was just like,
so you really took this seriously.
Did you guys have a good time on your, like, no, I almost died and embarrassed myself at the local mall. But thanks, guys. This is great. Well,
that's the kind of experience they were hoping you would have.
Yeah.
And you're telling the story now, like, 15 years later.
No more than that. Well, no, it's like, yeah, gosh. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, there was something I was thinking about that was like from 2007, 2008. And it felt like, oh, that was like 6 or 7 years ago or something like that.
I know. Yeah, I do the same thing.
Or when people talk about something that happened, I literally today I was thinking about this person who I used to work with on the Hill. And I remember she would make reference to like how young I was and this was in 96-ish, something 95, 96. Mm-hmm. So I was young, right? So she was like, you know, like she'd been working there for 20 years. And I remember thinking to myself, like, 20 years, like, oh my gosh, 20 years ago. That was like, that's like almost as old as I am. Like, that's a long time ago. And
think about the difference between 76 and 96.
That's what I'm saying. Like, wow, right? But now you could go from...
It's 20 years after 2001.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. No one prepared me for this. No one said, like, not even my parents, not even all the old people who say, like, oh, time flies. Like, you know, you just enjoy it while you have it. And no one says to you that after you reach a certain point, it's it. It's done.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when that was. I think it was
velocity.
I feel like it was like 35-ish.
That's about right, I guess.
You get to like 35, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're 48. Mm-hmm. You're like, what? But I'm not. I can't
be.
Right,
that's not true.
I mean, right? I can't be. And then you look at pictures of your folks when they were 48.
Man, that's like, the worst part.
You're like, wait a second. No, he was 148. My dad's like 38 in that picture. Mm-hmm. And he was older than I am now. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Right. How is that even possible? Like, I remember my mother's 40th birthday surprise party. Like, I performed magic at it. Like, how is it possible that I'm 8 years older than that?
Right. Exactly. My dad turned 40 when I was 13 years old, and I'm going to be 48 on Wednesday. So it's like,
right?
Because now you bring up an interesting point, and when I was talking about the difference between 76 and 80 or 96, that's a pretty stark difference. But am I just biased or weird? It doesn't seem to be that big of a difference between 2001 and 2021.
Oh no, that's a
cultural type stuff.
Dude, that's such a good question. That's such a good question, because I was thinking the exact same thing yesterday. I was thinking, like, the difference between going from, especially like 2010. Like, you go from 2010 to 2021.
Yeah,
like,
11 years. Usually that means a significant difference.
If I pull up a show on Netflix and it says it's from 2012, I'm like, oh, that's like yesterday.
Right.
It looks, and if you watch it, it's like, even though it's like long ago, like when you watch it, you're like, it's basically the same stuff.
Right. Right. It's not any kind of like
iPhones,
genre or
and
period
they have,
piece.
You know,
it's just the cell phones aren't as good. That's about it.
I mean, but they're basically the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like music hasn't sort of
music is
gelled into things. I mean, some stuff kind of goes in and out. I mean, we don't get as much.
No, I'm not. Look, I am definitely not somebody to be consulted for, like, hey, what's going on in pop culture right now?
Right. Yeah. Me neither.
Okay.
Really.
But I do from time to time dip into like what the like best-selling music is or most listened to and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's scary. It's frightening.
No.
It's pretty horrible. True. I mean, like everything is explicit.
Of course.
I don't understand that. I mean, I cuss a lot. I wouldn't do it on recording and then try to sell it.
I use it as punctuation.
But. I don't understand. But it's not the sound isn't any different. The sound isn't, I mean, like, I mean, there's variations on this, like there's iterations of stuff.
I mean,
but it's
75 to 85, 10 years, pop music,
massive.
Hugely different. I mean, like almost nothing of 75 remained in the 85 music and vice versa.
Forget that 1895 to 1905, like huge difference. 1905 to 1925, massive difference.
Oh, yeah.
1925 to 1935, massive difference. 35 to 45, big difference. 45 to 55 is ginormous difference.
Right.
Huge, because now we got rock and roll starting. 55 to 65, big difference. 65 to 75, mind-blowing in terms of the variety of music. I mean, the late 60s and the 70s was like a petri dish for music. You have then you have the punk, you have like heavy metal coming out of the 70s. You got heavy metal, 70, you got punk, you've got new wave, as they call it, like starting to kind of form. You've got the early stages of rap as well, like just beginning to start to sort of come out. Like, so you got all this awesome stuff. Disco dies a fiery death, unfortunately.
Well, that's also the thing, though, isn't it? Is because a lot of these genres come out as a direct response to whatever was popular at the time, right? So your heavy metals, and your punk and all of that is a response to things like disco and all of that stuff. That seems very superficial or whatever. And so heavy metal just wants to, dump all over it. And punk is now like, screw the establishment, screw what's popular,
Screw
everything,
blow it up.
And that's great. I'm all for that. But but now it's like there's not. I mean, I don't want to bring down the hammer of truth on this and say like it is not like that now. But I think that a lot of factors come into it that make it to where it's not as much gatekeeping in music production as there used to be. And with the internet out there, everybody can find the genres and the things that they like. Yeah. And so there isn't as much value placed on what are the kids like these days.
But wouldn't you expect that to mean that there's more variety? That there's more.
I would think that there
experimentation.
I think there is more variety.
Okay, and I don't mean variety. I mean
there isn't a unified channel that makes the most popular stuff.
The sound of today,
or
kind of
that
thing.
Much more popular.
The sound of today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
Because I mean, we're not relying on radios anymore, and we're not relying on.
Well, maybe somebody can help us out. If somebody thinks like, hey, you know what, you guys should hear this because this is definitely new and different, like, share it. Let us know. Point us in that direction because I'd like to.
Me too. Because I can't remember where I heard this, but it was something like once you hit 35, you pretty much discover maybe one new musical act a year, and that's tracked about right for me.
I haven't counted, but that's probably maybe even an overstatement.
It could be a little bit.
No, I've been
because I certainly go back to my standards
for a while. I haven't done this recently, but for a while I was pretty disciplined about once a week going through the Apple. I go through like the Apple Top 100 music, whatever, and I'd just listen. I just go through and look. Most stuff I'm skipping within like 10 or 15 seconds.
Oh, no,
but like every once in a while I would discover something, and then I'd download it and add it to my library. And that's kind of how I would find new music, because I didn't listen to radio. I still don't. And so I that's how I would find new music. But it's gotten painful now. Like I try to do it still, and I can't. It's like,
I haven't given it a try in a while.
It's just bad. And then you have like, and I'm gonna make all sorts of enemies. I don't care, whatever. What is her name? Oh my God. Is it Billie
Eilish?
Billie Eilish? Is it Eilish, right?
Eilish, yeah.
She just makes me depressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting sound, but all of her songs sound the same to me.
Yeah, that's
everything sounds the same, and everything brings me down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Nope. Which is different to say, like Prince, for example. I was not a Prince fan.
Yeah.
I liked some of his music, but I did not like most of his music. And but I would never say that all of his stuff sounds the same.
Oh God, no.
You know what I mean? Like,
nobody can make that claim.
Like huge variety, right? So I don't get people who, I mean, like, then there's other people like Barry Manilow, for example, who I love almost all his stuff, but stuff pretty much sounds the same.
Yeah, that's right? I was about to say. I think
but you do get a
possible explanation why you like all of his stuff.
Well, but you get a different emotional effect from the music, though. So some stuff's it does kind of like melancholy, and some stuff's really like energizing, and I mean, like so it's, you can have somebody can sound the same. Like the songs kind of have a similar sound to them. I mean, the Bee Gees, right? Well, after they reinvented themselves again, but you get a different emotional effect from it. That's, I don't feel like, I don't know.
And maybe that's what it is, right? I mean, it's that emotional connection is so important.
John Legend.
We just don't have it.
John Legend, like, I like his music, but it's all the same stuff.
I don't know much about John Legend.
It's all the same stuff. It all sounds the same. All of it. It's nice. I like it. I listen. I don't turn it off when it's on. But I'm like, isn't that other song? Oh no, this is the same. This is a different song. Like,
I find Coldplay that way.
I'm so out of my depth on this subject that I should get back to shore here.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work in radio, and for a while there, I was all up on all of the stuff that was happening right now in music, and I kind of felt pretty proud about how much I had my thumb on the pulse of popular music these days. But once I graduated and got out of the radio, I never picked up anything new, and I don't know. I just wasn't interested in it, and that whole one thing a year ended up being about right.
WLZA Laser 96, home of today's hits and yesterday's favorites.
Okay,
that's me. That was the radio station I worked for.
Laser 96.
Was it on laser discs?
Some of it was. Mostly it came from the satellite.
So what year was that?
That was in like 02, 03 while I was in grad school.
Oh, okay.
And then I worked at the college radio station.
Why don't we say 02 and 03? Why don't we just say 2 or 3?
2 or 3? That sounds kind of weird.
I know, but like that's what it
year
is.
Year 2?
Like, what year was that one? 2.
But and then when I was in college, I worked at that radio station, WMSV 91.1 FM, world class radio.
Okay.
I did an 80s show. It was cool. It's called Glory Days.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That was fun.
Glory Days, like the boss. Glory Days.
Yeah, but about the 80s in general.
That's cool. So speaking of the 80s,
Yes.
I want to dial it back to like 1981-ish.
Is that the Wayback Machine?
Yeah. When did Epcot open?
82.
82. So I figure when they were filming Impressions de France, it was probably like 1980, 1981.
Yeah, probably.
Right. And so I've often, when I watch that film, I've identified with those characters and figure that pretty much like I'm basically at the same age as those little kids in that the one in that scene where little French kids are looking in the
window.
in the bakery window, and they're like, oh la la, like
Yeah,
and
the macaron.
Yeah. I think I'm like the same because I watched. I know we've talked about this before. Like I watched that film and I look around at the people and I think like, okay, well, he's dead and he's dead and she's dead and she's dead and he's dead and he's definitely dead. Like I mean, all these old people, they were like older than dirt in the movie. And you're like, this is 81. Like, oh, they're definitely dead. And then you see like the couple who got married, the marriage scene, and I think to myself like, wow, how old were they? They look like they're maybe like 23, 24, 25. Like so. Oh man, that means they're like in their 60s now. Like maybe later. Like, how's that possible, right? And I think of like the little kids, and I'm like, oh, they're probably like, I think like, well, that's how old I was. So they're probably my age.
Yeah,
we're probably like close.
Do you even remember being in this movie?
Like maybe they're like close to age. Like so that's not old. Clearly, that's not old. Yeah, they're great.
The person of the same age is probably alive.
Yes.
There you go.
So
not that old.
So I thought to myself, oh, well, here's the other thing. Then there's that scene at the train station, which I know we've talked about before.
Yes, we have talked about this.
With my crush,
your alternate reality wife.
Oh yeah, where she's waiting for me to arrive from the trains.
And she's still waiting. I saw her the other day.
She's soft. I know. I'm in the theater, and everybody's looking at the straight ahead, and every time I'm like, I look to the side. And it's our own like personal moment because no one else is ever looking at her. It's just me. And she never looks over. One day. So I thought, I wonder if I can find her.
Really weird.
I wonder if I can track her down.
Oh God.
It's like, what? Is that creepy?
Nah.
I mean, she's in a film. Like, surely she's like an actress or something.
I'm sure she's on IMDb, yeah.
Well.
Did you find her?
No.
Okay. I was about to say, I don't know that I want to put that on the show.
Did find somebody. There's one credited individual on
Is there
IMDb
really?
for Impressions de France.
I'm shocked.
It's Daniel Lee Harkless.
Okay.
And so hold on, I'm going to pull up IMDb right now on my phone.
I'm
which
shocked
could be
that anybody knows anything about people that are in that.
And I'm putting in Impressions. I have to spell it correctly. Impressions de France. And by Impressions de France. There it is. 1982. Okay, so there's two credited individuals in the cast.
There's two.
Claude Gobet, who is the narrator. Claude.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Claude.
Okay, that makes sense that somebody would know who that is.
And then Dan L. Harkless.
Dan?
Dan?
Dan.
L.
Dan?
Dan?
What kind of a French name is Dan?
Harkless. Oh, just wait, my friend. Just you wait. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read the last sentence first.
Okay, there's a sentence.
He is an actor known for Impressions de France.
Okay, yeah, I have to.
Okay.
I have to give it a little bit of leeway on that because that's automatically generated by IMDb.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Well, he is. Dan L. Harkless was born in 1972 in Orange County, California, USA, as Daniel Lee Harkless. He is an actor known for Impressions de France.
Right.
And if you dig a little bit, he is the boy on the left looking in the patisserie.
He's in that scene?
Yes, that's the kid. He's one of the kids.
Some dude that I guarantee you his dad was like the cameraman or something. Working for Disney. Now, was that produced by Disney or is that somebody else, I wonder?
I don't know, but
yeah, he's one of these.
Of all the people in that movie.
I am indeed a French kid, and I am looking at French pastries.
That kid in the window.
But it's not. It's Dan from Orange County.
From the OC or something. Like, actually, the OC wasn't there. We're like, what is that about?
Brush home to Dan.
And then, like, where's my lady?
She may be like Sarah Beth Friedberg, from Toledo.
I mean, there's got to be a way for me to find this, right? Like, maybe I should reach out to somebody. Maybe, like, I don't know. How are they the only 2 people listed in the cast? Like, I don't. They got the helicopter pilot in here. The helicopter mechanic's on here. The helicopter mechanic.
Oh, like as the rest of the production cast.
Yes.
Right. Who directed that? Well, who's the director?
It was directed by Rick Harper.
Rick Harper. No Francois, whatever. We're gonna get
Written
Rick.
by Rick.
The guy that can really crystallize France is Rick Harper.
I think I need to find
of this country,
I think
Rick.
I need to find Rick Harper. I think he has all the answers, actually.
If anybody's gonna know, it'll be that guy.
What else has he done?
Unless there's a casting director in there too.
He did a lot of other stuff.
Because if you think about it,
Nothing you really would know.
there's a lot of people in that.
He did a film about model railroads.
Isn't there a model railroad in the Impressions?
There's a real railroad.
That's true.
I feel
I guess
like
you could call that a model. It's a 1-to-1 scale.
I'm good. Like, it's a little embarrassing how much I need to find this person. I just want to know that she's okay. I just want to know that she's
Make sure she's okay. Did you ever find the guy? Did the guy that you were waiting for ever show up? Or you doing okay? I mean, I saw the look in your eye. In 82. Just want to make
Did he
sure
take good care of you? Are you happy?
I don't know. Maybe you can find a new life. Maybe
She did
Central
have a
Florida.
daughter.
And you can be like, hey, I got a son.
Exactly. Well, except wait, no, that won't work because her daughter, who was probably like
Oh yeah, it was at the time. Yeah,
in the movie would be.
that would be more along the lines of a person you'd be meeting now.
Shoot, like Alex would be like, yeah. I mean, to be legal,
his
but did he
granddaughter.
be? No. Right. But I'm
Like
saying
her
like
granddaughter.
no, but
maybe.
she's probably like she's probably like that little girl's probably like 43.
Right. Yeah, that's my point.
Can you imagine that blind date I set my son up on? Like, so. It's like that. I don't think you did all the research on this one.
Yeah. My kid's going out with apparently Dr. Antoinette Truffaut. I kind of dropped the ball.
Look, dude, I
on
just
that
need
one.
you to go to the States so I can meet her mother. Oh my God, that's so terrible. And then that's the thing. You know, that I really can't ever meet this person because, number one,
Clearly.
right, because of this. And number two, she's probably not even French. She's
Yeah,
probably
we've
like
established that.
Daniel's Harkless's aunt or something. Like, she's probably like...
Right. She's from Toledo, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, God.
So I wonder who the other kids were. Did Dan know the kids? Are they like friends? Or did they jam Dan
What is his
in there
name? What
with
did I
some
say his
French
name
kids?
is? Dan Harkless?
Yeah, Harkless.
Dan Hart. Okay, I'm gonna look him up. See if he's on Facebook.
Dan. I got some questions, Dan.
Dan Harkless.
Where do you get off acting like you're French, for one?
There are a lot of
He's
people.
like, what?
I mean, there's this guy. There's a Dan Harkless who, on April 28th, planted corn and peppers today. The tallest of each is already about a foot tall. I seeded the corn under the lights, then moved it to my little green. He literally said to my little greenhouses. This can't be Dan Harkless.
Little greenhouses for you and me.
Oh God,
Is that like a blog? What did you
no,
find?
it's a Facebook page.
Oh.
He's got a whole companion planting guide out there. He does a lot of.
Well, I mean, his acting career didn't really take off after
Well, I don't know if
Impressions
this
to
is
France.
him. I don't know if this is him.
So, I mean, it makes sense that he's planting things.
It doesn't say where he's from or anything.
I'm planting things. I mean, that's same deal. That's what you do when your acting career fizzles.
This can't be him, right? All right, so so there's got to be other Dan Harklesses that who it could be. It could be no, that's not him. Oh, there's a guy who's in the Navy. It's probably not him. He doesn't seem like a brave enough person to be in the Navy. This guy's too young. I don't know.
Does he like macarons?
There's so many people. No one. I was getting ready to say no one who says "ooh la la" is going to go in the Navy, and then I heard it in my own head. And I was like,
I think we have a Village People song that would take issue with that.
they're not real Navy people. Anyway, okay, so I'll have to suspend this search for now and come back to it. But
much to everyone's relief.
I feel like he may have the answers.
He may, yeah. And like I said, I think if the director may somewhere have a call sheet that he still has.
Wonder if I could eBay. I wonder if it's on eBay, like the Impressions of France
sure
call sheet or something.
Nothing is more sought after than the Impressions of France call sheet for train station day.
If anyone
get a call sheet for the bicycle thing. You're like, damn it! So close and yet. Oh look, somebody's in wobbly bike guy. Interesting. That was on purpose, apparently.
Oh gosh! Right, I'm typing it in right now. I'm doing it. Stop making me laugh again.
Because hey, you miss all the shots you don't take, right? I mean, you might as well give it a shot. Who knows?
There's nothing.
No Impressions de France memorabilia at all?
CD.
On eBay?
There's a CD.
A CD?
Why is there Impressions of France CD?
All of that's like public domain music, though, isn't it?
That's what I think. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
It's all like Debussy and whatnot.
Oh, wait. Oh. God, I get so excited for a second. Roger Vitrak, handwritten, autographed, manuscript, signed, Impressions de Malta.
De Malta. That was the sequel.
Man, I was so close.
Where they were going to open the Malta Pavilion in Epcot.
I was so close.
They were ready to go with that movie, too. But they're like, we don't know what Maltese food is. So we don't have a restaurant.
Okay. I do have this bucket list. There's a bucket list. I don't know if I've shared this with you or not. But like on my bucket list, travel bucket list, is to visit all the places, all the scenes in Impressions of France. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
And totally doable.
Yeah.
Totally doable.
Absolutely it is, yeah. I've been to a couple of them. I've been to Notre Dame.
Oh, you know what? You don't have to show off.
I haven't been up the Eiffel Tower, but I've been under it.
Oh.
Same thing, right?
When were you over me? Over me? When were you under me? Well, I think this has to happen. It has to happen. I think Adventures by Disney should actually make
that would be
an Impressions of France like
an
grand
amazing
tour,
trip,
right? Except they'd actually have to accept that it's an attraction. They'd have to actually acknowledge its existence.
Right, yeah. instead of like sneaking it in when people aren't looking.
Right. Oh, guys, it's dark now. Go ahead.
Quick. I was trying to sign
now.
off. We don't want people to know it's in here.
Right. And take all the French people out.
Put in Dan.
Dan Harkless. Hi, I'm Dan Harkless, and I'm going to be introducing this movie that I starred in some 40 years ago.
Sit there. Ooh la la.
Ooh.
That looks like good bread.
I'll be recreating the scene in the patisserie outside after this showing. And you get to take your picture like with Dan. Ooh la la.
Selfies for $20.
Dan ooh la la Harkless.
Ooh la la Harkless. The OLL.
Who's now apparently planting sweet corn. I don't know. I don't think it's the same guy. I hope not. So that's Dan Harkless, and I know I hit a dead end.
Oh, man.
But
The search continues.
I also did this thing. I don't know. Time is all just jumbling together. A couple weeks ago, a week ago, I don't know, I bought a new Roomba.
You got a new Roomba.
I did. I'd have. Yes.
All right.
I haven't named her yet, but
I told you ours names, right?
probably Miles or Niles.
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 As in Niles Crane.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
Yeah, because he's
I don't remember why.
obsessively clean. So he runs around the house cleaning the house.
Tidy up. Time to tidy up. So I got the one that has the thing that it like empties itself.
Oh, those are cool.
And so it's cool. I still did not only did I do the thing, but it encouraged me to do the thing. Like in the
thing
little
being
follow it around.
Oh, okay.
It even says like in the
Micromanage your Roomba.
in the quick start guide, feel free to follow it around. Like see what it's doing. It has.
It's very open, and it will talk to you.
I won't though. I tried, and it creates creates this map of apparently it's supposed to create this map of
Some
your
of the new
floor.
ones are
So
really
I look
cool
at
that way.
I look at my phone to see what the map is. It looks like an MC Escher kind of sketch, or cubist kind of like. What is this? Like this isn't.
Mine will
this isn't
create
what the
that
house
map
looks
every
like.
time it runs. It doesn't like make it persistent, but yeah, when I look at it, I have to like go. Is that where
Really?
that looks like the counter is there?
Yeah, but then that's how. Why is that
But
how
then
is that? What is
the
that new
bathroom's
room
on the
up
wrong
here?
side of the house.
You're like, what is that new room up here? Like,
Right.
and what's also weird is did you notice how it maps out all of the internet capable devices or the
No, that must be a new thing.
it's like so you can look at the map. It'll show you like all it's not the IP addresses, but the names of the devices all throughout the house.
Really?
Yes. So
I
I guess as
wonder
part of
why,
its
like-
mapping, it like figures out where things are. It like its way to be more consistent with where it is because it has to go back and charge
or whatever.
and then goes back to the spot where it was. Like that helps it, I guess, to kind of get back to where it was. But it's a little spooky too. I'm like,
It was a little weird, yeah.
Oh, I like you mapping. Like, what else are you gonna map out?
My vacuum cleaner is doing port scanning on me here.
It did do some weird stuff. Like I couldn't. Sounds funny. I couldn't get it to go into the bedroom. So maybe it's just shy. But
It's like, hey, man, I don't want to get all into that.
it's like I just like it's our first
Dude,
day.
I just got here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there's something so wrong with me. But I forced it. It's horrible. I kept trying to get out. I kid you not.
This coupled with the impressions the fronts thing is not casting you in a terribly great light.
I picked it up and I carried it with my bare hands and I set it down like, you will clean this room. and
Go.
And I so I hit the button, right? And you know what it did? I'm not even gonna say shit anymore because
It left.
it tried to get out.
Yes, it did. Of course it did.
It knew like, no, this is where I was. I'm going back to my
what?
spot.
Nope.
I gotta go back to my spot. So I picked it up again and I took it back. It's like the kid in the stinger bush. As I like put it back in this room. in my bedroom. Yes, in my bedroom. And turn it back on. I even put it in a different spot and point in a different direction. And within 30 seconds, it's trying to leave the room again. So you know what I did?
You shut the door on it?
I closed the door. And then I stand outside the door, and all I hear is this.
You're outside the door. It's beating on the door like that.
Oh my God. It's like the telltale heart. It's like the Roomba edition. I'm like, oh my God.
Trying to hack into the internet and call the police.
Call for help. So what I did is I ended the cleaning routine, and I started a new one, like new room, right? Like here, and then it was okay, except it had to charge. So the first time it emptied itself, though,
it was probably in the bedroom.
No,
scared the crap out of
the first. Well, it'd been a while since I'd vacuumed, and so like it had to empty quite a bit. Because I got 2 dogs.
Hey.
And it's like that thing is like a jet engine taking off. Like
loud-wise?
When the unit like sucks all the debris out of the Roomba, it is like it sounded like a jet was coming down the street. Like, what is that? I thought something was wrong. No, it's just
working as directed.
But what's satisfying is that you can hear like the. You hear like thunk 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 thunk. You're like, oh, that's so great. I discovered some things. Like I found there were shards of glass, like big pieces of glass from an old Star Wars glass of mine from my childhood that was under the sofa. So that happened at some point that no one said anything about. But they apparently missed that 2 shards were left. I could tell it was the glass because it had like half of Darth Vader's face on one of the shards.
Right.
Yeah. So like, oh, that's nice. Found some toys that the dogs had lost, so that was nice. That was fun.
So the Roomba sucked these things up?
It didn't suck. No, it just pushed them out.
Oh,
like,
I see. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
I was about to say, wow, that's
hey,
a
look
impressive...
what I found. Look what I found. No, the thing
just
is,
vacuuming in here. You left us.
So it still did this thing where, like, it goes through the room. And it's like, oh, I'm finished the room. And I come back. I'm like, you're not. No. Like, what is this? There's like tufts of hair. Like little balls of hair. Like I had a cat here or something that was like spitting up a hairball. But like 12 of them. Across the carpet. Like, I'm like, what is this? Why? And I pick it up and it's like, yeah, hair. It's like tufts of hair. Like, I don't understand. It must not have like. It must have gotten like balled up so much that it couldn't get in like through the little wheel things or something.
Yeah.
I did this all over the place. And so I look it up, see if this is a problem. And I find all sorts of articles about this thing that I kid you not they call Roombarf. Which is like basically this thing because it's like eats a like it's like Roombarf. But here's the deal. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
These articles I was reading, I kid you not, they're like from 2008.
So this is a problem that has not been solved in a while.
I'm like, what have you been working on? Like I understand like you can map my house sort of. You can like recharge yourself, which you were doing for a while anyway, but you have this thing that sucks the stuff out, and like that's just basically sticking a Dyson vacuum onto a Roomba, you know, like
right.
Why haven't you fixed this Roombarf thing? Why is this still a problem?
Yeah.
Apparently it's still a problem.
Valid point.
Yeah. So here I am walking around picking up tufts of hair off the floor.
Now, I think what I would have to do is start him again and see, like, watch him when he gets to the Roombarf, when he gets to the tufts of hair, to see what is it exactly that's making that not want to go in there. Is it that? Does it have one of those spinny brushes on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm wondering if
stuff
one
gets
of
tangled on that too.
yeah,
I had to pull some hairs off of that. I think after
wonder if
I think
that
the
thing, like,
second
whacks it.
vacuum, it'll be better. But it
it's
can't
almost
just I
playing
can't
like
just put it
soccer
on
with these things.
having animals. Like I can't just put it on a schedule, like a normal human
Yeah.
being would do, where he's like, oh well, at 10 a.m. on every other whatever, that I'm gonna have it vacuum the house, right? I could do that, except that I have to get stuff off the floor. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
at any given moment, my dogs will have little baskets where their toys go, right? But they're like little toddlers. They just, as soon as you put the toys in the basket, they just come and pull the toys out of the basket. Like, oh, look at the toys in the basket. And there's toys all over the place, and I got to put them back in the basket. They don't know how to put them. They've tried. They don't know. So I have to.
I challenge
otherwise,
the fact that they've tried.
well, Roomba will just either push it around or it'll get stuck on it or something.
Right.
And I have to make sure the wires are up. Can't have any wires on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, we
stuff like that.
we run ours ad hoc too. I mean, there's no way to put it on a schedule because we're here all the time. I mean, it's going to be inevitably extremely inconvenient that this thing goes beep.
I mean, it's not horribly loud. This one, at least.
That's cool because ours is pretty loud.
Yeah, the one we had before this was loud too. And apparently, also, if you get so I did something else too. I got one of the mopping version.
I see. That's the one I want. I want to add a mopping
It's still
one
in the
we have so
box.
much tile. It's still in the box.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I just have run out of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have to
Well, that makes
because
sense.
I'm also a little intimidated. Like I realize that I'm gonna have to put a lot more thought into this one than the vacuum cleaner because I don't know exactly how it's gonna work. Where like, okay, mop here but not there, mop here but not there.
That's the
mop
thing that
here,
I'm
but
worried
not
about
there.
too.
Because I've got
Because we've got
carpet and wood and
hardwood
tile.
floors.
Yeah.
But there's a rug up there, and I'm like, does it know where the rug is? Can it tell that there's a rug there?
It's a robot.
Or am I going to get a soaking wet
2021.
rug when I get done with it?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm not sure of.
Like, I mopped your rug. Thanks.
So, but like theoretically, it'd be great because I do not like the mop at all.
Oh, me neither, man.
So
hate it.
So I'm hoping that works, and I got to figure it out, or else I'm sending it back.
Yeah, I want to get an update on that when you get that done.
I'm a little afraid. I'm a little intimidated. But apparently they can talk to
Well,
each
that's when
other,
you
right?
micromanage for sure.
You can tell.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, so you can say it. So like, okay, you vacuum first, and then when you're finished vacuuming,
kick him
you
off.
tell your buddy to start mopping.
Wow. Okay, you can have like two of them that work together.
If you you can have multiple vacuums, like multiple Roombas that will also work together. So like one will go in one direction, one will go the other, and they can coordinate activities so they know which rooms each is done.
that's amazing. And then you come in and they're having coffee over in the corner.
I'm envisioning like this battle scene, like that's my room. No, it's my room full. Like no. And then I had this idea.
That Roomba fight thing where you put like a little needle on one side of them and a balloon on the other side, and whichever one pops the other's balloon first.
Right. Do you remember that? What was that called? The Robot Wars thing.
BattleBots. Yeah.
That was so great. Whatever happened to that show?
I don't know, but it was. I think there's
good.
still some manner of it that's around. It seems, but it's not like on a TV channel anymore. I think you have to get on YouTube or something.
And then, so my old Roomba had like a little remote control that I could like actually force it to go in certain directions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This doesn't seem to have that capability, and I can't even in the app make it go in a certain direction, which is odd to me, because I feel like I should be able to drive it around if I want. Because how else am I gonna stick like a little Ring camera on there, and then like drive it around the house when I'm not home?
It's true. There's no other way to do that.
I should be able to do that. Like I can actually initiate a cleaning cycle when I'm not home.
Yeah, true.
But I can see where but I can't actually drive it. I mean, it would be very passive, but I could attach a camera to it and just see where it is.
I had I've had my Roomba for.
I may have to do this.
You definitely have to do that, and I want to see how that works too. But I've had my Roomba for a while, and when I was in New Zealand, I was living in an apartment at the time, and I had a little thing called a canary, which is like
I love canaries. Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah.
So it's a camera that just watches my apartment for me while I'm gone, and
it turns on when you leave and turns off when you come home.
right, exactly. Yep. And when it sees something, it sends you a notification.
Alert.
Goes, hey, saw a thing. Yep. And so the Roomba would always set that thing off.
Sure, of course.
Because I'd be like, they go, oh, hey, I saw somebody, saw something.
You want to call the cops?
The Roomba's going like, what? It's
cops.
me. It's every other day I do this. But what was really cool about that is that it's got the infrared thing. So if the Roomba starts going and it's dark, you can see the cool, like a whole bunch of like sensor lights and stuff around it, and how it's like looking at stuff, and it's really neat.
I've seen that on the Canary. I've seen that on a phone, like if you show your phone on the Canary.
Especially, the ones with Face ID, because it has the dot projector.
It must be like constantly going, because it's like
I know the proximity sensor probably is always going in some regard.
Weird, right? Spooky.
Yeah. So we were bombarding ourselves with all kinds of stuff.
Right now with infrared,
we just don't even know it.
Like, that's great.
Woohoo! Cosmic radiation. We're all
So
Hulk.
Yeah. So I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna kind of go down a rabbit hole probably and find Dan.
That sounds very helpful.
I feel like he's my link to. I don't want to lose sight of the prize. You know, like
prize. And which prize is this?
The woman in the blue dress.
The woman in the blue dress.
Yes.
Is she aware that she's the prize?
I
don't think she is.
Almost certainly not. And by prize, I don't mean anything creepy.
Oh,
I mean,
of course
like,
you don't. Perish the thought.
It's like, it just occurred to me there's a very, very, very small chance, but there's a chance that like somebody listens
to the show.
Somebody listens to this who knows. It's like, wait a second. She goes, her name's, he calls her, hey Barbara.
You would not believe.
Look, you better call the authorities.
Say restraining order. I got this guy's name if you need it.
It's Marcus.